So hello defenders, in this lecture video we will be talking about the ethical standards in the PNP. Okay, we will be talking about each of them. Now first let's talk about morality. PNP members shall adhere to high standards of morality and decency and shall set good examples for others to follow. So try to look at the example of a photo that I showed you in this particular lecture video. Now, following the ethical standards, lahat ng tao, all personnel that belongs to an organization with the uniform should and always and very necessary to set a good example, no, to others, most especially in the field of the Philippine National Police. They cannot be able to see you just roaming around and nakikita niyo yung picture, that's a woman dancing behind the photo and attending clubs. Actually, the same holds true with when we talk about educators. Educators should also set a good examples because it's very impossible for other people to follow and to believe what you keep on saying. If it's themselves, it's if ikaw mismo, you yourself, cannot be able to set a good example to them. Now, what if there's an instance na pwedeng mangyari na meron kang i-announce or you're gonna give an example of an information na medyo malala or that concerns their safety, the general safety, the community safety, hindi ka paniwalaan because you're not setting a good example to them. But aside from that, when we talk about morality and decency, it should always be the character and the picture of yourself from the community that you yourself are not these kinds of people who are always in the kind of place that is very, very prone and conducive to fights and illegal doings. That's morality. Second, let's talk about the judicious use of authority. Ito, importante to. Now, PNP members shall exercise proper and legitimate use of authority in the performance of duty. Napaka-simple, napaka-very self-explanatory that all members of the PNP shall perform and act in accordance to their power, and it should be used for the purpose of their work. Okay? Pag sinabi nating judicious, a fair or tamang paggamit ng yung authority as a person in uniform. You are not gonna use your authority or your power for other things other than the interest or that will benefit, other than doing things that will benefit the community. It is always, the focus is always on the interest of the community. For example, you cannot use or perform, or you cannot be able to use patrol car, no, just to go to an outing. That's not kumbaga sa bagay sa gamit or things belonging to the government, cannot be able to use them for your personal interest. Same holds true with the human, that yung tao, the personal in uniform. You cannot be able to use your power and authority not in accordance with what you are supposed to do and what are your responsibilities dapat. Next, integrity. Ito, napaka-importante to. This is one of the most important ethical standards in the PNP that everybody should know, practice, and apply. PNP members shall not allow themselves to be the victim of corruption and dishonest practices by the provisions of your Republic Act 7613 and other applicable laws. Yung first photo na nasa taas, that's an example, that's a real photo na nakuha, no? Ito. They are reciting their pledge their integrity, yung integridad nila sa work, the profession that they chose to. Now, the quality of being honest is what we called actually as integrity. And this is having strong moral principles. Mga moral principles, moral uprightness. Yeah, that's integrity. Another important thing, let's talk about justice. Ito, PNP members shall constantly strive to respect the rights of others so that they can fulfill their duties and exercise their rights as human beings, parents, children, citizens, workers, leaders, or in other capacities, and to see to it that others do likewise. Napakasimple, it's very self-explanatory. But try to look at the examples that I've shown you here. They are giving justice to the culture that this particular place has. They are giving actually high respect, constant respect to these people. They didn't misjudge it. They even gave the highest respect that they deserve. And talking about justice, PNP members, you, a man in uniform, shall always exercise, no, and fulfill your duties and exercise your rights as human beings. Kung ano ka as parents, children, citizen, workers, leaders, or in any other capacity, so that the community would see to it that you as a police officer has a kind of lifestyle like this na sabi ko nga kanina should set an example. Kasi the most and highest perception na meron ng komunidad towards you supposedly is you as a man in uniform are decent, proper, thinks correctly. Yan. So that others, if they're going to see it from you, others will do likewise. Okay? Humility. PNP members shall recognize the fact that they are public servants and not the masters of people. Kasi ito usually yung nangyayari. Ito pinakaunang pinapractice, as you can see, mostly from today's generation, for those who are being a man in uniform. The people, and towards this end, they should perform their duties without attracting attention or expecting the applause of others. You should do your job, even if it's beyond of your task, without expecting something in return. Because you're doing it, you're actually, hindi mo pa ginagawa actually, yung ina-expect mo na makukuha mo dapat sa ibang tao. Actually, nasa sayo na. Okay? Ano tinutukoy ko? The salary. What you are working for has already been paid off. No? It's very impossible for you to boost out what you did to others, knowing that what you did is actually what's supposed to be done by someone like you as a man in uniform. Nakuha mo? Okay, you are not the master of the community. You are actually the community's public servants. The community is the one who is paying you first and foremost. And it should never be the practice of the PNP personnel attracting attention every time they do something good to the community, because that's supposed to be what you are do. That's supposed to be the things that should be done by a person like yan, the man in uniform, the PNP members. Humility, be humble. You give foods, good. You help others, good. Okay, it's actually very overwhelming and flattering to sa feelings, no, if kusa na dumadating yung klaseng applause, attention na naibibigay ng tao towards you, not because you have planned for it, not because you've worked for it. You've worked for it naman, but not to the point that you were expecting. It's very it really hits different pa rin when you least expect it, and it came. Please do not forget that. Next, orderliness. PNP members shall follow original procedures in accomplishing tasks assigned them or assigned to them to minimize waste in the use of time, money, and effort. Simple lang, orderliness. You have to follow original procedures for you to be able to accomplish things. Because time in the world of PNP is very, very important. Most especially the the effort and of course the money kasi money yan ng bayan. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating orderliness, this only means that it is actually referring to the quality of being well arranged and organized. In this way, if things that should be done by the PNP members are already well arranged and organized, the more arranged and organized your works are, the lesser the waste of time, the lesser the waste of money, the lesser the effort, waste of effort. Okay? At napaka-importante for someone who are in service about orderliness. It matters actually. Lastly, perseverance. Persevere. Once a decision has been made, PNP shall take legitimate means to achieve the goal, even in the face of internal or external difficulties, and despite anything which might weaken their resolve over time. Diyan nakikita ang perseverance ng isang miyembro ng PNP, ng isang organisasyon. No matter how you know how huge the hindrances may come, no matter how you know that there are difficulties and problems that may come up while facing and pursuing the goal, no, or in resolving such case, for example, pero tinuloy-tuloy mo pa, nag-persevere ka. Pag sinabi nating perseverance, this is the persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. It's just like you right now. You know, there are some delays, there are some difficulties. Sometimes you already lose hope, lack of finances, lack of support towards your studies. But you persevere to finish your studies despite the fact that there are so many difficulties that are coming up. Yan yung perseverance. Now in PNP, all members of the PNP shall take, please do not forget what was stated there, legitimate means. Ibig sabihin, nararapat na paraan. Kahit alam nila na merong silang mababanggang klaseng problema, may it be internal or external difficulties, and despite anything which might weaken their resolve over time. Kahit alam nilang merong ganitong klaseng problema that may come while in the process of pursuing what was the goal, they should still focus on doing what was legitimate. Yun yung perseverance. Kasi pag maging illegitimate yan, hindi na yan perseverance, nagso-shortcut ka na to the point na ikaw nang mapapahamak. Okay? So that's all for this video. Thank you. Those are the ethical standards in PNP.